So, how did you come up with this recipe for Kräftig?
Well, first of all, I knew that I wanted to be in keeping with my family's heritage and brew a very high quality product that creates a pure flavor, a great flavor. And I knew that in order to follow that tradition, it would have to be the best I could find and possibly brew. I needed a lager, as Mark said. I wanted to continue the Busch tradition of brewing lagers, and I needed it to, have a lively and robust color to it with the bubbles and have a wonderful hop aroma to it. And then to taste had to be balanced, it had to be smooth, it had to be refreshing. And I love a little bit of sweetness in a beer, so I was looking for a little sweetness also in it. And so Mark and I and some of our associates got together and we started coming up with a plan on how to come up with this recipe. And we were fortunate enough to be able to work with some of the finest brewmasters in Europe to help us come up with the recipe. And we brewed and rebrewed through trial and error until we felt we found the best, highest quality product, the best flavor we could possibly have. And that's when we decided to come out into the market. That whole process took about 2 years. Mark, if you want to talk a little bit more about the process,
sure.
Be my guest.
Yeah, we set out to produce this style of beer, but we wanted to give people the premium lager and premium light lager, but we wanted to give them a little more flavor. We wanted something pure and something that tied into his German heritage and his family's legacy. So we decided to pay special accordance to a German purity law from 1516. It's called Reinheitsgebot. And it states that you can only have hops, malt, yeast, and water in beer. So, they had it right in 1516. These guys, while they didn't truly invent beer, they're certainly the masters of it. So we looked to the teachings of master brewers from years past, and we produced these beers that were able to give people the correct color, profile in terms of calories, carbohydrates, all the things that are important to a variety of consumers for this type of beer, yet give them a little bit more flavor, because that's the number one complaint we hear, is that light beer just doesn't have very much flavor at all. In fact, some of them are extremely light. So, we said we want it to be high quality. We don't want to use corn. We don't want to use rice. We don't want to use corn syrup. We don't want preservatives. We want it to be all natural, and we want people to know what's in their beer. So we went the extra mile. We used only those 4 ingredients. We used the best of those 4 ingredients. And Kräftig and Kräftig Light is what we came up with. As Billy said, after brew after brew after brew, we finally arrived at what you're tasting today.
And so, Mark, you look pretty young. How long have you been brewing beer?
I am pretty young. I'm 36 years old. I've been brewing beer professionally for 18 years. So that's kind of interesting.
Now, then when did you really start?
My mother was a microbiologist, and for some strange reasons, she allowed me to indulge in home brewing at the age of 14.
For older brothers, obviously, over
well,
21.
I wish I had that excuse. I was an only child, but I assure you it all went to good and legal use. Yeah, like thousands of gallons I brewed. But I started home brewing, and then I got a job at the homebrew shop. And that was my first job. And then I became assistant brewmaster at Morgan Street Brewery at 19, brewmaster at 21, and I was there for 16 years until I met Billy, and he told me about this project, and I was floored to be asked to be a part of it, and it's been just amazing ever since.
Great.